We must collect the index before we can activate the installation. I am a genius.
Well, how hard could that be? I mean, it's right there. It's right in there. Well, level certainly starts off easy enough, doesn't it? Just checking real quick to see if 343 doesn't understand art direction, and that is still the case. Let's get a move on. Alright, so here we got a new enemy. These are Flood carrier forms. This is what happens to combat forms that are no longer fit for combat. Just excess biomass. They are probably the single most dangerous enemy in the game, technically. They act basically like a frag grenade explosion, for all intents and purposes. Actually, when they blow up, they can cause a chain reaction with other grenades. I left that first death in because this opening bit is probably the hardest part in the level because they start you off with, as usual, a shitty assault rifle. Just an overwhelming amount of combat forms and the new carrier forms being thrown at you. Fun fact, on easy difficulty at least, they actually, they just start you off with a shotgun instead of an assault rifle. That would be nice. So, yeah, this opening bit, definitely the hardest part. I would say, just take your time. Don't be afraid to hang back. As you saw, I kind of traded up from the assault rifle to the plasma rifle to the plasma pistol. As usual, the Magnum is, what's the word the kids use? Goated? Plasma pistol isn't bad either, of course, never is, but I would prefer a shotgun. Basically, top priority, acquire
The index chamber. Follow me.
a shotgun as soon as possible. And I noticed a Flood had a shotgun, so whoop! Pretty slick, right? But I immediately squandered that right here, yeah. I almost died. So, I'm taking my time here because I want to... Okay. So, like I said, the carrier forms are explosive. So, I wanted to be careful to not accidentally fling the shotgun a million miles away. Right now, I'm taking my time so I can grab as much shotgun ammo as I can. Any pistols, any frag grenades, grab those. Even any plasma grenades. Basically, you want to... Whenever the area is clear, you want to take a breath. You want to comb around the area. As I said in the last video, frag grenades are extremely effective on the field. So this level can be quite difficult if you don't know what you're doing. Basically, you got to get real good at fighting the Flood real fast.
That's a good idea.
So, once you have the shotgun, this level honestly gets a lot easier.
Contains the index. We must get up there.
When you go through that door, there's going to be Flood on both sides of you, so you want to pick a direction, stick to it, clear it out, so then you can have a position to fight the other side from. Yeah. Carrier forms, they are pretty easy to deal with, but you can very easily get complacent where one can sneak up behind you, because not only do they explode when you kill them, they can also detonate themselves. And also, when a carrier form sends another carrier form flying, that also detonates them when they hit the ground. It's very similar to a frag grenade. When you go through this hallway, a Flood's gonna jump. Okay, so you might chalk that up to yet another one of Prisma's missed easy sticks, but I thought I was throwing a frag grenade. I wanted to throw a frag grenade because there's some Flood on either side of the door, so that wasn't a missed stick. That was I threw the wrong grenade type. Get it straight. But so, like Guilty Spark was saying, that's the robot's name. If you didn't hear it, so 343 Guilty Spark. Our goal is to get to the shield around the index. It's on the 4th floor. You need to get to the 4th floor to shut that off. This is, as you can tell by the video time, this is another long one. Or at least medium length. Now, this level, it is very easy to run past a lot of the encounters. I wouldn't recommend doing that here because, and by here I mean this specific room after the index chamber, after you first enter the index chamber, because not only do floods spawn behind you, but if you go too far forward, a group of floods spawn in front of you, so you'll be kind of caught in between the rock and the hard place there. I wouldn't recommend it. The later in the level you get, the easier it becomes to run and gun. For this early part, I would say just kind of play it cautiously, especially on the first playthrough. You know, take your time. Go as fast as you need to. I will say, there's a lot of flood spawners that seem infinite, but they aren't actually infinite. Eventually, they will run out if you take the time to slowly kill
The security doors have sealed automatically. I will go access the override to open them.
Also, this is another reason this is a bad room to try and run and gun, is because you come up to a locked door here, and if you aggro 2 entire groups of flood, you'll just get overwhelmed and die.
Please follow closely. This portal is the first of 10.
I'm sorry, did you say 10? Nah, yeah. Honestly, the doors are kind of unevenly spread out. There's a lot more of them on the later floors, so they're not really a good indicator of level progress.
You brought such ineffective weapons to combat the flood, despite the containment protocols.
If you say so. Now, what he means is, it's a little unclear, but what he means is, although we can put down combat forms, as long as there's biomass left over, that's problematic. The infection can still spread. You would need something to burn the bodies. Plasma, for example. So I take a quick pause here to kind of show off this cool bottomless pit, but that kind of leaves me open to
The flood must not escape.
blood spawns.
They consume all.
Careful of those bottomless pits, though, because that glass, just like the glass in Assault on the... Yeah, you heard that shattering sound. That's the glass breaking. Now that's a bottomless pit. It's instant death, so careful. I think that's the only place in the level where those appear. Now, speaking of this level, you can probably tell already this is not a fan favorite level. In fact, it's pretty infamous. It's considered by many to be the worst level in the game, perhaps even the worst level in the series. I wouldn't go that far. I actually kind of... Not sure if this is a hot take or not. I actually kind of like this level. I definitely wouldn't list it among my favorites, but I think it's alright. I like the atmosphere, I like Guilty Spark, I like his dialogue. I find it's a nice change-up. Definitely goes on a little long. I'll agree to that. Besides, it's hardly the worst level in the game. There's another much worse one coming up. This is like a low... I'd consider this like a low C-tier level. Like maybe a little below average, but still pretty fun in its own way. You can see just how... I love the big, just clouds of infection. But like I said, you wanna spend some time clearing them out occasionally, because they kind of get in the way of checkpoint generation.
See how the body's been transformed by the genetic restructuring of the flood infection. The small creatures carry spores that cause a host. The mutant host then produces spores that can pass the flood to others. It is insidious and elegant. As long as any hosts remain, the flood is virulent.
By the way, probably pretty obvious. You may have seen it at the end of the last level, but Guilty Spark is completely invincible. The Flood can't hurt him at all. That's not just like a gameplay concession. That's actually canon. As you'll see in Halo 3, I probably shouldn't spoil that, but as you'll see in later things, he's pretty indestructible. Forerunners know how to build things, I guess. Speaking of elegant, you may have noticed the shotgun can be fired while it's reloading. It's super cool. Did a little risky thing there to get the ammo. If I were you, I wouldn't risk it. I got greedy, but luckily it paid off and I have more shotgun ammo. Yeah, the shotgun can be reloaded while it can be fired while it's reloading. That's part of what makes the Halo 1 shotgun really good. Incidentally, the reason why I would say the first part of the level is so difficult, that health pack right there, that is the first health pack in the level. Like, I'm aware that I can miss things, but I've scoured the first part of that is the first health pack that appears. And, right beyond it, the first and only energy, or overshield of the level. Make sure you grab that. There's lots of little health packs hidden around, but that is the first health pack you can actually find. So they make it go a really long time without a health pack if you dare to lose any health.
We must continue. This way, please.
Yeah, that's what I mean about the carrier forms. I was so focused on the big monster closet of Flood. I let one sneak up on me and I almost lost my overshield.
This installation's research facilities are most impressive. Perhaps we'll have time to see them later.
Strategy is kind of the same as the last level as far as weapons go. Just watch your motion tracker, make sure you're not letting carrier forms sneak up on you. Obviously, this part is a lot easier if you don't lose your overshield stupidly like that. That is the only overshield in the levels. I guess for strategy, one thing I can say, in order of priority, I would say it's Shotgun Flood are priority 1 targets. Kill them as fast as you can. Then after them, I mean, you saw at the beginning how quickly a Shotgun Flood can kill you. It's like 2 or 3 minutes. From full health, they can just, they can potentially 2-shot you. Or 1-shot you if they're really close. Yeah, after that, it's Needler Flood. Oh. So, this doesn't apply to this door. Well, I mean, it does, but okay, when you see a door like that, that tells you you're at the end of this floor.
Supplement your combat skills. But I suggest you upgrade to at least a Class 12 combat skill. Your current model movement scans is a Class 2, which is ill-suited for this kind of work. Pardon me. A plasma conduit breach in section 5524 has disrupted power flow to a riveting maintenance assembly.
And another thing that makes this level easier as it goes on, you start getting Sentinel robot buddies from the previous level. They start coming back to help. So yeah, when you see a door that kind of looks like this, that tells you there's an elevator. And the Flood can't really follow you up these elevators. So, not that first door, because it's kind of a scripted introduction to the Sentinels as allies. But from now on, whenever you see one of those doorways, just know that you can kind of book it towards it and be safe if you don't want to fight anymore. So now we're on the second floor. Careful, because carriers come out of that vent right as soon as you come out. But luckily, you get some more Sentinels right at the start of this floor.
Flood activity has caused a failure in a drone control subsystem. I must reset the backup unit. Please continue on. I will rejoin you when I've completed my task.
There's some more health packs down here. If you want to play slowly and methodically, there's wrong with that. Although if you run and gun, keep in mind you might have to leave some of these health packs behind. So, just like before, we have to hold our position at one of these doors. This would be the. I'll probably lose count, but I believe this is the second portal out of 10. Now, a little pro tip: you can actually skip this encounter very easily if you stand back where those blue windows. Okay, so this is a holdout section where you have to hold out for a certain amount of time before Spark opens the door. Probably should have skipped this. Well, no, I purposefully didn't. But yeah, if you stand by those blue windows, the timer for the holdout section will tick down, but no flood will spawn. And then by the time they do spawn, when you run through while the door's open, you can just run past them before they overwhelm you. That's a little cheesy for me. I don't like to manipulate enemy spawn lines for these things, so I decided to just fight it out. It is a very, as you saw, I almost died. It's a very good combat encounter, so feel free to skip it. Incidentally, you might remember what I said about the burning. You'll notice the Sentinels use laser energy beams that are ideal for burning away flood flesh. Although, they do fold pretty quickly, so don't rely on them too much. I believe it's here you get introduced to a new threat. Or, no, I might be thinking of something else.
The Sentinels can use their weapons to manage the flood only for a short time.
No, it's up here.
Speed is of the essence.
Is it? I don't remember the exact part. I know it's on the second floor. Yeah, as usual, make sure... Okay. Yes... No, okay, it's up here. Yeah, that's right. Right in front of the third one. Yep. Might be a little hard to tell from a distance, but... One of those Flood had a rocket launcher. That's right, there are Flood with rocket launchers. They're exactly as dangerous as you think they would be. When I said the shotgun are the primary targets, obviously rocket launchers come first. That's rocket launchers, shotguns, needlers, and then all other Flood. Ironically, Flood with magnums are not very threatening because they don't really know how to aim them.
Please wait here.
Don't worry, this holdout section's pretty easy. Some of them are really hard, some of them are pretty easy. This is another easy one. This is kind of what I meant about the portals being weirdly spread out, because if you'll recall, there was only one on the first floor. Yeah, that one's really easy. I'm just going back for the rocket launcher. I would not recommend doing this. I'd recommend holding on to the pistol. This kind of screws me over later, as you'll see, because I had a pistol with full ammo there, and I kind of gave it up for a weapon that's honestly not very good on this level. I was just kind of showing off why it's not very good. Yeah, I mean, you have enemies that are really fast and charge you, and sometimes they'll be clumped together, but usually they're spread out, especially in these areas. I would honestly recommend just sticking with the pistol. Oh no, wait, I remember. I was actually smart enough to go back for the pistols. It's another... I do run low on pistol ammo, though. That's kind of inevitable. Yeah, so I made a cut because I went back to grab the pistol. It's a little unclear. I remember getting lost as a kid. You have to kind of go into this underground tunnel here. Oh, if you need it, behind the ramp, there's two pillars. Behind the pillars, there's some health packs. They're very well hidden, but they're there. I didn't need them. Because I'm just so good. No, because... this part's kind of easy. Although, Flood jump down as soon as you exit. Which is kind of interesting because it suggests they have the ability to plan ambushes, I suppose. I guess while I'm giving out tips, I keep you'll notice a recurring thing. I keep underestimating the Needler Flood, but they really are quite dangerous. Only the rocket and shotgun Flood I would consider more dangerous. If you were playing this level, you might want to go back for the hidden health pack that I mentioned, but I decided to press on ahead because, I'm recording a video. I don't want to make too many awkward cuts.
Your environment suit should serve you well when the flood begins to alter the atmosphere. You are a good planner.
Thank you, Guilty Sport. How could you hate this level when Guilty Spark is so charming and funny? No, I'm just kidding. If Guilty Spark wasn't in this level, I think I would dislike it a lot more. Even like the millionth time replaying this game, I still find his dialogue fun to listen to. I guess in a manner of speaking, this is probably the most plot-heavy level of Halo 1. You learn quite a bit about the Forerunner and the Ring and the Flood, without it really feeling like an exposition dump. Halo 4. Somehow I don't die there. I guess the guy didn't feel like firing his shot. So as you can see, when you kill players, and that's where I run out of pistol ammo, because I was being a little... Oh. Also, there's a rocket flood right there at the end of the hallway, so be careful of that. Yep. They have really good aim, too. They aren't just, like, firing randomly. Really bad time to, run out of pistol ammo, but luckily he kind of just stood there. And also, luckily, right near where he's standing, there is a health pack. So that's another reason why I didn't go back, because I knew there was another one. So normally I wouldn't grab the rocket launcher, but I figured anything's better than the assault rifle. Yes, that's what being out of ammo looks like. Sorry, back to the assault rifle. I blame that solely on the assault rifle. That is not my fault. I'm just kidding. But I guess this is a good time to mention there are no differences between human and Covenant.
The installation was well conceived. It is surely the only way to end the flood threat.
Right. There's no differences between the elite and human combat forms in this game. That starts in Halo 2, where they start to differentiate them, but there's no actual difference besides appearance in Halo 1. Once again, I do my trade-up thing, but unfortunately I'm stuck without a pistol for a long time. I guess I'd say maybe be a bit more careful with your pistol ammo than I was. Luckily with the plasma pistol, ammo is not a concern. The Halo 1 plasma pistol is absolutely ridiculous in terms of ammo capacity. Assuming you don't overcharge, assuming you don't use the overcharge, it has 500 shots. You can fire it 500 times. Which is insane, but I digress. Jump on the thing there to kind of dodge around the guys chasing me. There's a lot of guys chasing me, but I'm not too overly concerned. I throw a grenade to kind of get them off the back. I do take a lot of damage here. But I knew that there was another elevator doorway coming up, so I just run. Look at that huge crowd of red dots chasing me, and then some more spawn. But yeah, just run past them, and I would recommend getting on the elevator. Some carrier forms will drop down onto the elevator, but usually they're kind of dumb, so they fall off on their own. You can kind of chase them off, because they'll try and run away from your gunfire. Third floor? Technically, we're halfway done. But the first floor is actually the longest one, so probably a little more than half. I guess I would say another tip: the Flood, unlike the Covenant.
Conjecture that the other species
Speaking of the
currently on the
Covenant.
installation is responsible for releasing the flood. They seem most persistent in their attempts to access restricted areas.
Speaking of the Covenant, no, but unlike the Covenant, the Flood kind of fire. They're more prone to being stubborn, I guess you could say. They'll just like, you've seen me do it a few times. You can kind of weave around their shots easier because they kind of pick a spot and just fire into it, even if you're no longer there. Others, it might be a little hard to see, but there's a health pack up on that little ledge up there. And once again, you gotta go underground. And I get my pistol back. Hooray. This time's a little more dangerous because there's a bunch of combat forms down here. But if you have a Magnum, they're not too bad to deal with. That's the advantage of carrying a Magnum. That visual of all the infection forms flooding in is always one that stuck with me, I have to say. Pretty cool visual. And I kind of did just spend all my Magnum ammo, but, you know, I did clear an entire hallway of Flood without having to use any shotgun shells, so I would honestly say that's just worth it. Now, here you want to hang back a little bit, because your Sentinel allies take a while to spawn in, so if you rush out too fast, you can get kind of overwhelmed, so you want to wait a little bit, then come in. Just like Assault on the Control Room, this level kind of tells you where to go, with little arrows on the floor. These ones are a bit more subtle. And the game does a good enough job of kind of leading you where you need to go anyway. Once again, stuck with the assault rifle. Oh hey, the first Needler Flood I don't underestimate. I'm learning. Oh, incidentally, be careful of the Sentinels, because when they get destroyed and they crash, that explosion can hurt you. It's not like an insta-kill or anything, but it can be more damaging than you'd like when you're surrounded by Flood, for instance. Once you feel comfortable enough, honestly, just kind of run and abandon your Sentinel allies. Now, here I get kind of hunted. I forget that there's, in front of the, I believe that's the fourth portal, there are four Flood combat forms with plasma. Oh yeah, and I got unlucky with the checkpoint, so I got sent all the way back there. I remember that there's 4 Flood combat forms in front of that door with, they all have plasma rifles. This time I was ready for it. Incidentally, I gotta stop saying that word, I'm sorry, that must make this tedious to listen to. I was listening to my audio back and I realized how much I said it. I'll try and stop. But this is another holdout section you can kind of skip by not crossing the spawn line. You kind of just hang back. Now, I'm killing all the combat forms or the infection forms because I was a little mad about having to replay all of that because I got bad checkpoints. Almost died there, but clutched it. taking a sip of my gamer fuel, which in my case is water. Of course. But we're in a pretty good position going forward. Yeah, this holdout section isn't too bad. I'd say it's a medium difficulty. Once you know that the combat forms are there in front of the door. And we're back in this room.
It's simply too dangerous to release, and mass sterilization protocols may again need to be adopted.
Watch out for the rocket.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm not even mad. I got hit by the carrier form because I mean I took care of the rocket guy. That's what's most important. Yeah, there's a health pack right there, right back there. So, you know, whatever. I believe there was another rocket flood in that group. Maybe, maybe not. I honestly don't remember. Here's a fun fact. Those two flood that spawn on top of the boxes there, they will all... I mentioned that the flood in this game have a 40% chance of reviving after you kill them. That is true, but there are some flood that are like set to always be revivers, as in they will always revive. The ones on top of the boxes will always revive at least once. Yeah, like there's the guy I killed earlier. Yep, I heard him. And a little hard to tell, but that's actually a portal. For once, Guilty Spark pre-opened it before we got there, so I guess that would be number 5, I believe.
The installation was specifically built to study and contain the flood. Their survival as a race was dependent upon it. I am grateful to see that some of them survived to reproduce.
This kind of what bothers me. They really start like throwing health packs at you later in the level. I really wish they'd maybe like distributed them better, because you get like, you know, you saw how long you go without a health pack in that first part, which is weird because the first part is definitely the most difficult part of the level. Once the flood starts showing up, you start finding full ammo plasma weapons on the ground more often. But yeah. Fun fact about the flood that dropped down. Almost died. Okay, so, well, I'll say the fun fact later. Okay, so, funny story about this. That may have looked like the worst gameplay you've ever seen, but there was actually a wasp that got into the room where I was recording. So this pause is me dealing with that wasp in real life. So a wasp got in, and I almost died in the game while I dealt with it. I was tempted to like restart from checkpoint. That is something you can do, by the way. You can revert to the last checkpoint if you don't like how something is going. I decided to just, you know, give it a try, see if I can maybe clutch it out. And success! Bet you didn't think I'd make it, did you? No, but that was definitely a close call. Although, for once, that wasn't... I would call that not my fault. There's, door number 6. See what I mean about the portals being, like, distributed weirdly? Hey, there's just 2, we're, like, back to back.
I will deactivate the security lock.
7, by the way. Okay, so... Okay, I do something a little cheap here. I feel like it's in the spirit of the game, so this is the most difficult holdout in the level. You're locked in a room with a bunch of Flood for 90 seconds. You heard me right, 90 seconds. Unless you come over here and hide in this corner. If you do that immediately, they won't know that you're there. You can kind of skip this very difficult holdout section. I feel like this is fair. I mean, Master Chief is hiding from the Flood. It's not like I'm manipulating like spawn triggers or something. I'm just hiding. That's fair, isn't it? I mean, I've hid before. Yeah. I fast forwarded that instead of cutting it out because I did want to prove that if you don't make any noise, they won't know you're there. And you know, once the door opens, you can kind of get through pretty easily. Because some sentinels spawn in to help you out.
Time is short.
That's a chain reaction right there. Oh, and look, it's another one of those elevator doors. So I know that I can just make a beeline for it, and I'm safe. Now, a little sloppy on my part. You want to check behind yourself because sometimes combat forms can jump on the elevator, but it'll only be like 1 or 2 at most. Still, they can sneak up on you. Carrier forms too. Yep. And like that little chapter title card says, this is the final floor. As you can see by the video time, this is actually the shortest floor. So if you've made it this far, you're almost done. Congratulations. Congratulations, Cole. So, right, my fun fact that got interrupted by the wasp. So on lower difficulties, when the Flood jump down, they don't have the health to survive the fall, so they'll fall and drop over dead from certain angles. That's portal number 8. So, game doesn't tell you, but that door will stay jammed, so you have to go underground to bypass a guilty spark. Can't get that one unlocked. And if you're fast enough, you can kind of duck in there before the Flood really can follow you, besides sending like a token resistance down after you. Finally get my Magnum back. Maybe don't immediately waste it on infection forms, but you know, as you can see, the plasma pistol can definitely put in work. So that's gate number 8 and gate number 9, or portal number 8, portal number 9. And this is, guess what, it's another holdout section. Because this time Guilty Spark can actually open up portal number 9, you gotta hold out. And no silly tricks on this one, I really just, okay, well, there is a silly trick, but it's a speed one. You can grenade jump through the open door. One of the portals is like slightly ajar, you can grenade jump through it. Pretty easy, pretty replicable, but, you know, like I said, I'm doing full path runs, so I like to show off the full level. It's a little hard to tell. You see that health pack there? There's actually 3 health packs in here. 2 of them are hidden, so you have plenty of health. So, you know, even though you're outside of speedrunning tricks, you're kind of forced to do that holdout. Not really so bad, because there's literally 3 health packs in there. And 1 outside, for some reason. I swear I'm not mistaken, there's really 4 health packs within that close proximity of each other. It's like Dark Souls 3 bonfires, I suppose. There's a reference. Epic Dark Souls reference in my Halo video. But, yeah, believe it or not, we're actually at the end of the level.
Are already hard at work repairing your vessel. parasitic nature belies the Flood's intelligence.
So, over where my shotgun was pointing, that little wall over there, there's another health pack and a hidden rocket launcher in there. The reason I didn't go for them, honestly, I forgot that they existed. Mild spoiler, but luckily I didn't end up needing them, but I definitely go for it. You want as much health as possible going into this the final shootout. So approach that big door, the final portal, when you're ready, because just like Assault on the Control Room, it's going to be a big enemy army on the other side. I don't know how they survived that plasma grenade, but whatever. Yeah, look, I mean, look at that. Look at all those Flood coming right at you. No shame in backing up because this is the last part. And once again, I nearly died, but I don't. This might sound like cope, but it's like if I had remembered the health pack was there, I wouldn't have even come close to dying. So it's not really getting lucky. Because, you know, if I had struggled on this part, I would have eventually remembered it was there. Now, it might be tempting to get complacent and think that big army was it, but be careful going in because there's two Floods kind of camping both of the ledges. Yeah. And when you go in, there's going to be a second Flood army that spawns in, but something really funny you can do is that big pillar of light, and level ends as soon as you get in there. Something really, really funny you can do, you can actually go on the left, you can go all the way around and go across the bridge from the other side and bypass this second Flood army. But I thought of another kind of like little trick that's a little more exciting. Just barely made that.
The energy barrier surrounding the index will deactivate when we reach the ground floor. You may now retrieve the index. Protocol requires that I take possession of the index for transport. Your organic form renders you vulnerable to infection. The index must not fall into the hands of the Flood before we reach the control room and activate the installation. The Flood is spreading. We must hurry.
But alright. Library with only 2 deaths. Join me next time for 2 betrayals, which is considered by me to be the hardest level in the game. And it's going to be another good long one for people who are into those. But I have a little bit of bonus footage. As opposed to the last video, I didn't really make fun of 343 too much. I did have this little... This section is me just making fun of 343 for something, so if you don't care for 343 bashing, feel free to skip this. So as you can see, I'm right at the end of the level. Showing off where the hidden health pack and rocket launcher are, right over here. All good on classic. Switch to anniversary graphics and you will see. So you may have noticed the anniversary graphics, they kind of just like lazily slap it over stuff without really thinking, and it leads to situations like this where not only do they hide the hidden health pack from you, it also lets you clip through the wall there. Very silly. It's not really a major thing, it's just another 3-4-3 fuck up, I guess you could say. Incidentally, I'm playing through. This is a quick little replay on easy to get back to this point. Guess this is a good way to show the gulf between easy and legendary. And a bit of gameplay in the remastered graphics, because I don't really do that. Kind of a cool visual, at least. But alright. Playtime's over. Goodbye.